Filipino
It's
thing.
a daddy thing.
Yeah, my dad also.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's grunt.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when my husband came to our house, immediately my dad and my mom, it was my mom pa nga eh.
First meeting?
First time she saw him.
She liked him right away.
Yeah.
Cute eh.
Yes, I see.
Because the mama naman cute.
No, but the weird thing was, it was my mom who was so kilig. She called up her friend immediately and said, I think this is the guy already who's going to marry my daughter.
I think it's instinctive, for the mother.
She called the wife of Res Cortez, and now she's my ninang. She's our ninang because she said, Candy, I think this is him already.
We had Res here on the show.
Just, yeah.
Oh,
few
Tito
weeks
Res.
back.
Yeah, okay. So yun. So it was my mom who was so kilig. And usually, whenever, okay, there was this guy who made me legal before. He was from Radio Net. I won't say names, but I just said the name of it. PM. Anyway, he was studying something in Ateneo, and then he would come late at night, which of course they don't approve of. But my mom and dad would be with us in the sala, the dining table.
Just to make sure,
Just until 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock, because he comes not really late. And my mom was the one so kilig, and I was like, what's happening? Thank God I didn't end up with him, but he's a nice guy.
So I'm glad you're happily married, and hopefully, well, that you will be too.
She
But
will.
you know what I want to get to is Patty here. Okay, Patty and I met because of Oasis of Love. Her mother was the head of the Oasis of
we
Love
met
Catholic
Star
Community.
Olympics.
Oh yeah, Star
Yeah.
Olympics. But Star
Yeah.
Olympics. So anyway, Patty has this condition, or she had this condition that was a little fatal.
Yes.
And
Had
she,
na lang para tapos
yeah,
na.
had, yes. And she was actually in a coma for 4 days.
Yes.
And this was in 1995.
Yes.
Yes. So I'd like you to tell us about that.
Shortcut.
Shortcut.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in a nutshell, 95. I was one day in 95 November. I had a terrible migraine, and it always comes before our monthly visits. And so I thought it was the usual thing, usual migraine. So I went on with my day until the evening, and I even had to play chaperone to my friend who dated the brother of I forgot his name. Basta, yeah, some recto guy. So so anyway, and then I was complaining na that evening, and I said, take me home na kasi how painful na my head, I can't stand it na. Without me knowing, I passed out already in his car when he was taking me home. So the poor guy had to
Carry you.
practically carry me with my friend whom he was having a blind date with. So they took me and they spent their blind date in my bedroom, making me bantay because I was already out cold. And my mom was there, and my dad was out shooting in where's this?
Wherever.
Corregidor,
Okay.
with my 2 brothers. So nothing for them to panic about. And then my cousin, who was a doctor, said, oh, that's nothing. Maybe it comes with her period. She had a bad night. She just
And you
passed out.
yes.
She just passed out. So the following day, the way they put me to bed was my same position. At 5 o'clock in the morning, my mom saw me and she panicked and she called her neurologist cousin in
Because
UST.
you hadn't moved.
Because I hadn't moved at all. And when they carried me, dead weight na. So they rushed me to the
How
UST.
old were you at this time?
28.
Oh my gosh.
So they rushed me to UST, and when they scanned me, CT scan muna, they couldn't see anything because it was all blood na pala in my brain. So I was
Oh my
bleeding,
gosh.
hemorrhaging already. And then the following day, that was the only time they brought me to Makati Med because it was the only hospital at that time that had MRI. And in the MRI, they couldn't see anything. It was all black, so it was all blood. And then after that, they saw afterwards that there were 4 malformed veins and arteries in my brain, and the biggest erupted and it flooded my brain with blood. So they told my mom, I'll give it 5 days. So 5 days na lang.
Give you 5 days
give
to
me
live.
5 days to live. Something like that.
What was this condition
What was it?
called?
Yeah, what's it?
AV malformation.
AV malformation.
Arterial venous. That's in the brain. The arteries and the veins in my brain were fused together. So they're
What
connected.
causes that to explode?
It's a congenital brain defect. So technically,
Okay,
I'm
so
a
how many
brain
how many
damaged.
people get that? One in what? One in
I
one in
think
500, one in
1 in, I don't know how many hundreds, a few hundreds lang.
okay.
So, and not all survive. If
So
they
5
do, they're
days.
vegetables.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
and then on the fifth day, I woke up out of the coma and I
So you
asked
were in
for
the
help.
coma in the hospital or in the house?
Hospital.
They brought you to
UST.
Makati, UST now.
yeah, where my uncle was based.
So you were in a coma.
Yeah, and I was prayed over. I don't know how many times a day. There were masses. I don't know how many times a day. It's like I wasn't there. So all the things I'm telling you now is just the story of my mom and the people who were there, who saw me practically not.
And you were saying Rudy Fernandez and Lorna Tolentino were visiting you every
Lorna
day.
was there every single day, bringing hot food for the people
Yes.
who visited me. Thank you, LT. I love you very, very much. You just don't know because I don't
Okay.
get to see you, so I don't get to tell you that I love you, but I really do love you. And
So 4 days you woke up.
I woke
And
up,
how
I
was
asked for
that?
water, and then after that,
They
2 or
always
3
ask
weeks.
for water when they wake up.
Well, because you're not drinking for so long, or you
Yeah,
just have
something like
you just
that.
have liquid
And
coming
I was
in
like,
from
yeah,
the IV.
I had IVs all over me. There was even one time when I would get into semi-coma state. My mom one morning woke up and there's blood all over the place and they saw
From?
me on the floor. I yanked out everything.
Oh.
And I attempted daw to go to the bathroom.
Like crawl.
Like I
Okay,
crawled.
so when you woke up, what was your state? What is your condition?
I can't really remember, but I remember very well when I was already at home. I didn't know anything or anyone except my parents.
Amnesia?
Slight.
Oh.
I
And
forgot
then-
how to write. I forgot how to
Oh
read.
my God.
I forgot how to use the telephone. I was given a bath for so many
Could you
weeks.
walk?
I couldn't walk. I was like a lizard. I'd stick to the wall. I couldn't walk that well because my right side motor skills were basically damaged and my vision, my right side, my
Vision
visual
too.
nerves, yes. So they told my mom, expect her to eventually go blind, expect her to eventually go paralyzed. And of course, my mom was telling me this when I was a little okay na, and I had a little comprehension when I was on bed in my room. So I started to cry and cry and cry, and I said, the first thing that, I'm going to cry na, the first thing that I remembered, what about my children, meaning my students?
Yes. Because
Then-
you were teaching in OB Montessori.
Yeah, and I was tutoring already, so I'm gonna cry na.
It's okay.
Anyway, so
It's okay. God is good.
yeah,
You're a
super.
miracle.
And
You're
then
living one.
when my mom, I pretended to sleep because my fear was every night when I'd go to sleep, I wouldn't wake up the next day
Ah,
because that's what happened to me.
yeah.
So when my mom left, she would always make me bantay until I'd fall asleep. But that night, I knew she was right beside me in the rocking chair, and I couldn't sleep. I was so scared to go to sleep, so I pretended to sleep. And then when she left the room, I went down on my knees. I faced my window. It was a full moon, and then I prayed like I never prayed before, and I was crying and crying. My nightgown was so wet with tears. And then when I went to sleep, I woke up the following day, and that was the first time I slept so well.
What was your prayer? What did you ask for?
I just told the Lord, I said, kind of naughty, because I said, it was a bit naughty. Well, a naughty, parang rebelde prayer na I told the Lord, like this, like barkada, sige, prove natin sa kanila na ikaw ang pinakamagaling na doktor. Na buhay kayo, na you really exist. I'm not taking for granted what the real doctors here on earth say, but you are the best physician. So do something to me to prove to them, everybody, that up to this day you're alive, and whenever people call on you, you answer prayers, and I want them to see. But I didn't say I want them to see in me.
Yes,
I
yes.
want them to see that you really work and you really answer prayers, please. And also pala, Lord, baka sakali, can you not take me away from teaching kasi I want the children to know who you are. That lang. Then I said, and please, for once, make me sleep properly and peacefully. Thank
And
God
then
it
you
wasn't-
slept.
And then I slept. And then before I knew it, when I woke up, morning na.
And then everything regained back.
Yeah, and
Or
then I...
how long did it take? Yeah,
Yeah.
like could you write again? When did you write?
I had to teach myself how to write because during that time, my fiance, John, was in Iloilo, and I attempted to write him a letter. And when I wrote him, of course, in my own view, I was writing properly.
Yes, yes.
And then when I showed it to my mom, it was all in one line, and I think I wrote 20 lines, but it was all black. I was just writing in one line.
Just horizontal lines
Yeah,
like
just,
that.
yeah. But
on top of each other.
On top of each other. And then when my mom saw it, she cried, and I cried, and I said, Ma, how come I don't know now how to write? I don't know now how to read. Ganon. I was so But I never
So how
indulged
long
in
did it take
self-pity.
until everything was normal again? I mean, like you could
I
write.
had to rest
how
for
many-
2 years. I had to stay at
2
home.
years.
My gosh. You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. 2 years. I had to stay. I had to not do anything for 2 years. Not do anything, meaning I couldn't even watch TV.
What could you do?
Pray.
This is the funny thing. They told me I'm not allowed to be active. I'm not allowed, no extreme emotions. No extreme sadness, extreme excitement, physical activity, nothing extreme. Or else the blood flow in my brain might just go boom, boom in my arteries, whatever. So when my mom would leave for church every day, I'm sure she knows this already, I'd turn on my
TV.
CD player
And dance.
and dance. Dance like anything and dance and clean like a crazy woman in my bedroom to the tune of
Madonna.
praise songs.
Oh.
So I was dancing to the tune and to the songs of Don Moen. And then I met Don Moen, one of my best birthday gifts. March 13, he was here for a concert. And I wanted so much to meet him because my
Kind of
theme
saved
song
you,
was
right?
Yeah.
Heal Me, O Lord. And whenever I'd hear that song, I would cry and I would really put it in my heart that I would be healed. So when I met him and then I cried and he hugged me, and when he came here for a series of concerts the following years after I met him, I would always see him backstage and he would say, Patty, you're so well. And then he'd kiss my head, he'd touch the place where the vein exploded or whatever.
Where was it? In the back?
At the back, the base, in the middle,
Oh.
going up,
Okay.
somewhere there. It was a very delicate part of the...
So this is like your second life.
Yeah. And then when I got pregnant, another series again of chaos because I would always get into a bad convulsion. My eyes were open, but they were all white. I'd be frothing in the mouth. I'd be as stiff as a board. They'd rush me to UST hospital. They even considered if ever I was bleeding in the brain, they would have taken out the baby. And I prayed and prayed and I cried and cried and I said, no, please,
Now
no.
you have a miracle baby,
Yes.
Miguel.
The miracle woman
Yeah.
has a miracle baby.
Yes, Miguel, who's very, very smart.
Ang kulit.
Very sweet.
Yeah, very
Miguel,
sweet.
yeah.
And he
Yeah, you
just had
all
his
met
birthday
him.
last month. Belated happy birthday, Mickey. She's so really, I mean, walking testimony. You know,
Yeah.
she's alive and she's well, and you really look well. And she's a teacher, and you know, being a teacher in Gymboree, you have to. It's a lot of physical activity.
But
okay?
she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
Great. She's happy.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Yun
God
talaga,
does
praise
miracles
God
every day.
talaga.
Yeah.
Just up to
Super.
you to see it. Yeah.
That's why when I
Wow.
see children and some parents don't appreciate their children,
Yeah.
I feel so sad and sometimes I get inis kasi parang regalo sa inyo ng Diyos yan.
Yes.
Treat them well.
Yeah. So cutie. That's the other side of our Gymboree teachers,
I know,
Trisha
we
and
can like, make a
Patty.
movie. Let's make it a teleserye na
I
lang. Because
know,
there's not
right?
enough time.
I know there's not
My
enough
gosh.
time. So somebody who's going to get married in a couple of weeks, and then somebody who had a second chance in their life, and they're both in Gymboree now. So we're blessed to have them in Gymboree.
We're also blessed to have Gymboree in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah, and you
So
guys.
thank you very much for guesting with us, Teacher
Thank
Patty
you.
and
Thank
Teacher
you.
Trisha.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
thank you, and hi to all the teachers and the parents of Gymboree.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Pat, I can listen to your story again and again and again. It always feels like the first time.
Oh,
It's like the
God.
second time I'm hearing it.
I got
right?
interviewed nga by other channels and I was in the
Yeah, she
magazine.
said
of-
you've been everywhere.
the
Yeah.
That's why it was so
magazines
hard to
of-
book
yeah.
you.
And first even Bo Sanchez, I was in his magazine a couple of times for
Yes.
testimonials.
But
and
you should keep
it's really
sharing that
nice.
story.
Yeah, you should. I think you were put
Should.
on earth to share
Yes.
the story and to show
Because the
people
sad
that miracles do happen.
They
happen.
do every day.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's taken for granted. You wake up, you have good
Yeah.
food, you can eat, you can swallow. You can imagine all these people are so rich, but they're all attached to machines in the hospital.
Yes.
That's right.
So hard.
So a miracle again that we're going to be here again next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so thank you very
Thank
much
you so
again.
much for
Thank
blessing
you.
us.
Thank you.
And we hope you have a blessed Christmas.
And thank you for your gifts.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you're welcome.
Yeah,
Here's
thank
to
you.
more Gymboree branches.
Yes,
For the
okay.
next for the
Oh,
coming
yeah.
year.
Yeah, coming soon somewhere in Makati.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so we'll see you all next week on the She Said show.
Bye.